Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Ferenike, and this is a place where we discuss about how to utilize our full potential and to live life on our own terms. This video is a request from one of my colleagues, and as you can see, the title is Good Managers Manage, Great Managers Coach. And what do we mean by that? Coaching is essentially a process of getting from A to B. So if I'm being coached, I have a goal that I want to get to, and a coach is there to guide me through from A to B. So I have my own plan. I want to go from A to B, but the coach is there to guide me through, to give me guidance, to support me, to believe in me, and to essentially see any false thought process that I have. If I have any errors in my thought process or in my action plan, then the coach is there to guide me through that and to give me advice and to support me and to tell me if I'm on the right path or not. I think nowadays it's very similar to how managers need to work, and I think there's lots of change happened within the last 10 years in terms of the management and leadership skills and the way managers manage and the way leaders lead, because we're not anymore in the industrial age, right? So we used to be in the industrial age where managers used to tell employees what to do, and it was very, I don't know, it just feels very old-fashioned. Nowadays, it's very important to understand that we value soft skills a lot more than we do hard skills. That's why we talk a lot more about emotional intelligence, and there's so many studies there proving that emotional intelligence can be like a hugely important element for someone to be a great leader. So soft skills are valuable now a lot more than they used to be in the past, and managers need to understand that. Also, millennials are now out on the workforce, so they need a completely different way on how to be managed rather than the previous generations. So 4 things that I have identified as, that great managers do in terms of coaching is to guide the thought process of the employee. So when you give a task to someone, or you give them ownership of the process or ownership of the project itself, you essentially give them a plan from A to B where they need to go. Then the manager's role is not to tell them what to do, not anymore, but it's more about asking the right questions to see if there are any errors in the thought process. Because if each and every one of us have their own critical thinking, process and understanding, so essentially you don't need to tell them what to do, but you need to ask them provoking questions and challenge their thinking to see if there are any errors in the way that they go about implementing or executing the task or project or process. So that's the first thing. So don't tell, but ask. Start asking questions, intelligent questions, questions that challenge the thought process of the employee. Second thing is that I see very, very often happening is companies and managers, hiring managers or managers in general, they don't match the talent with the challenge. They look into the experience maybe or the skill set based on the CV that they receive from the employee, but they don't look into the personality. And they might actually leave a lot of talent on the desk, like out there. Because it's very important, I think, when we hire a new person in any company. I think new companies and startups are doing it more and more, but old companies, they tend not to do it, is to do psychometric tests or personality tests to understand how that person is in terms of their personality. How do they operate, what are the strengths and weaknesses, and make sure that the company utilizes all of that potential. I don't see that happen very often, but essentially a really good tool that I have identified as very, very accurate is the 16personalities.com. 16personalities.com, which gives an overview of the 16 personalities. What are the strengths and weaknesses? How do they operate in friendships, in the working environment, in the career, what they're looking for, what's sort of the drives for that person. I think it's very important to identify those from the beginning when you hire someone, but also within the team to understand the team members, each one of the team members, and in order to find out the best ways to work with each other, right? So I am an ENTJ-A, which is a very leadership kind of type, personality type. So I thrive on leadership roles. So that's just an example of what, I mean, let me know what your personality type, because I'm very, very curious. But everyone that has actually done this test has told me that it's very, very accurate. So try it for yourself and try it for the next employee you hire in your company. Third thing is, good managers manage, but great managers keep people accountable. So to keep someone accountable, but then trust them to do the right thing, is so powerful. And I've seen it from when managers manage me. So when I feel trusted to do the right thing, I tend to give 100% of myself, because when you feel trusted, you feel like I'm gonna nail this one, and I'm gonna, give all of myself. So that's how you make the most out of the employees. You keep them accountable for what's the job, what needs to be done, what's the task at hand, but then trust them to do the right thing on their own pace and on their own ways. Because sometimes if the managers tells you the way to do something or the process you need to follow, and if you don't believe in that process, it's very hard for me to be effective on what I do, right? So if I am doing the job, then I need to find a way that I believe in, not that the manager believes in, right? Because that's just more effective way. So it's very important to keep people and employees accountable on what needs to be done, but then let them have their own say, because if they need to do the job, they need to believe in the process, in their ways of doing it. So yeah, I think that's really summarized it all, and I'm just gonna say it again. So 4 things. Don't tell, but start asking questions. Start asking so that's the one. Start asking provoking questions. Second, match the talent with the challenge at hand. Third, make sure you keep people accountable and trust them to do the right thing, because that's how you make the most out of people. And the 4th thing that I actually didn't talk about so much this time, but I think it's a no-brainer, is to be able to manage. A manager can be very effective if they're able to manage their own emotions. If I cannot manage my own emotions, it's really hard for me to manage anybody else. So invest your time into improving that. And I'll see you next week. Let me know if you have any questions, or share with me any experiences that you have that has been very effective for you in terms of managing others, because I want to know more, I want to learn more about that topic, and we all, let's thrive all together in terms of that. See you next Sunday.